Okay, so everybody wants to start a business, but what if I told you that not only can you do it today, but it's easy and you can probably do it for free? The purpose of my speech is to demonstrate how to bootstrap a business, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've started 7 businesses starting at age 14. One of them involves pizza. I believe it's important because it could change your life to know how to bootstrap a business because it can empower you to do things that you couldn't do otherwise. So there's 4 main steps in bootstrapping a business. First, we define a product, validate the market, then we scale up, and then lastly, we have to deal with demand. So as far as defining a product, it can be anything, but in this case, in this example, I chose pizza slices. I wanted to sell them. I didn't necessarily want to make them. So you also have to define who is your customer and where are you going to be selling it to them. So in my case, I did around campus in Chico and around the dorms. And so now that we've defined a product and a market, we can start to validate the market. So an important first question to ask when you're bootstrapping, rather than trying to start a pizza place, you want to do the minimum possible amount of investment and the minimum possible amount of work to get the product into the first customer's hands. And that's what bootstrapping is. So in my case, I borrowed everything. I borrowed the equipment, I borrowed push carts, and a food warmer and a mini fridge to do energy drinks. I got net 30 terms on the invoice for the pizza from a popular local brand. So I didn't even have to pay for the pizza. I didn't pay for any of it. I had 30 days to pay for it. And so I used the brand of this place that I had gotten it from and was able to mark it up 400% to their prices from the bulk price. And so I was able to quickly validate the market because it sold out in half an hour. So now that I had validated the market, it was time to scale up. So with bootstrapping, an important second question to ask is, how much can I sell without expanding, without investing anything new in it? So I sold out everything that I got the first day. So the second day, I just bought as much as would fit and sold all that too. So that you can only do so much at that point. So I decided to go for mornings, and I did breakfast burritos in the mornings. And quickly sold out of that too, so it was time to expand to a second cart and start hiring people. And what's the cheapest way to do that? Borrow as much as possible in the case of bootstrapping, and don't worry about the legal questions yet, because there's just no reason to worry about it at that point until you've reached a certain point of scale, you have a certain number of employees, and then it's time to worry about demand. So in this case, there were lots of licensing requirements that you would need to do. You need a business license, you need food handling licenses. But even then, there are a lot of businesses that choose to never do that. I was just in San Francisco this weekend, and there was, on one block, 11 of these push carts selling food who were not by any means up to code. They didn't have any of the things that you're supposed to have, any hand washing sinks, utensil sinks. They didn't have a refrigerator for the food. Lots of people do that and never go legal, So once it is time to do that, you have to worry about payroll, which is huge, can be prohibitively expensive in this case. The margins were a lot, but not quite enough to really warrant trying to push forward with it after starting to deal with demand. So licensing in this case was too much, but it's an important question to think about, and then eventually maybe to address if you want to grow. So in conclusion, the 4 main points were to define a product, to validate the market, to scale up, and then to finally deal with demand. Not to do that at the beginning, or you'll talk yourself out of ever trying anything, because it's impossible when you start there at the end. So in the end, I had 4 of the carts, and I was making over $2,000 a week on average per cart. But the problem is that it can only scale so far. So I couldn't. 4 is great, but I was never going to get 100 or 1,000 of them. So starting to deal with the cost of payroll and everything else, and maintaining inventory, it didn't work out at scale the way that I wanted it to. So I ended up changing careers. And I got into software instead, which takes me here to today. Just kind of like a quick postscript. I bet that if we took these to the quad right now, we could easily triple or quadruple the cost of them. And it's so easy to do that. If anybody wants an extra $50, it's so easy to do any night of the week, just to take a couple pizzas and sell them by the slice out at the bar.